With stage 6 load shedding being implemented, businesses and restaurants are set to be impacted even more. Ahmed Kajee joins us from Fordsburg, where he is keeping an eye on how exactly businesses have been impacted since stage 6 load shedding was announced. So the call coming through just after 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. for Andre de Ruyter, as he has made us to believe, and the decision to implement stage 6 load shedding then being taken at around 4:19 a.m. this morning, just a few hours before businesses would have actually opened their doors. Ahmed, how have they been impacted?
Thanks very much, Duru. A big part of what we had seen just coming into the Fordsburg area is multiple traffic lights obviously being out that we normally see with load shedding, and the roads tend to be a bit more quieter. And unfortunately for many small businesses, this means less traffic coming into their respective businesses. And even for those who manage to open, and for the small amount of customers that actually do end up coming in, obviously not all operations would then be possible. So that's just one of the main impacts with regards to small businesses in and around the city of Johannesburg. I'll be bringing in a guest in a few moments' time, but just to paint a picture of what we have seen in and around the city of Johannesburg during that briefing by Eskom. Most of the traffic lights are outside. Most of the small businesses haven't really opened their doors. And this is something we actually had seen at the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic, when businesses wouldn't even open up due to the costs being too high to even open the doors, and there not being a sufficient amount of business taking place. And this is something what we had seen this morning as well, that stage 6 implementation of load shedding and some businesses just not even opening, perhaps due to the fact that staff need to sometimes be paid, and also just the cost of production to have other equipment running without electricity, and the trade-off not being as sufficient as we normally would see as well. But today now would actually be a good chance to actually geolocate you right now and then bring in our guest as well. We are currently at a bakery out in Fordsburg, that is Saleh's Bakery. They obviously require a number of, they need electricity obviously to run their freezers, their refrigerators, and some of their baking equipment back in the kitchen as well. And this is where we can actually bring in Mohammed Saleh, the manager of this particular bakery. Mohammed, thanks very much for your time. We have seen stage 6 being kicked in, being implemented now with load shedding. How is that expected to impact you?
Very much in terms of our baking, our production, and also our staff. Thinking about our staff plays a big role as well. Our normal trading hours, like from start to finish, is from 6:30 to 4:30 during the week. And with that being in place with load shedding stage 6, it also affects our staff in terms of them have to come in early so we can produce products before the load shedding kicks in, and then obviously wait for power to come back on, and then again start production in the afternoon, which also plays a big role in staff just waiting around doing nothing, and then all of a sudden we just have to start full production again because of no power on our property.
I mean, you are a bakery, so more often than not, baking happens before the start of business hours from around 4:30 or so. How has that impacted you now going into the new week with the load shedding in this particular area being implemented from 4 o'clock?
So our main baking production starts during the week from Monday to Friday from 5 o'clock, and then we start producing at 5 and finish at around 10, 11 o'clock, but we still bake throughout the day. Saturday, Sunday is about 5 o'clock. Finish about 5 till about 6:30, 7 o'clock, which does affect us with load shedding because we sometimes off from 4:30 until 6:30, which that brings us way back in time in terms of products, and not having products on our shelves sends customers away as well.
And then just finally, are there any contingency plans for your business in terms of generators, inverters?
We do have a single phase generator that just runs our lights, our plugs, and our 2 display fridges, as you can see. In terms of putting on a bigger generator, we're going to have to look for that in the future. But that's just the cost of it is crazy to run a 3-phase generator to run our equipment and mainly our main oven.
Mohammed, thanks very much for your time today. To do that, Mohammed Saleh here, the manager at Saleh's Bakery in Fordsburg. As you would see, the lighting seems to be functioning over here, and the display fridge is behind me. As he says, this is just more or less one contingency that has been implemented with regards to load shedding. But the cost of getting perhaps a bigger generator would be exceptionally high. And obviously with load shedding, we are then seeing reduced business hours and reduced business coming in as well. So those minimal costs and profits compared to the major cost of getting in a generator will be relatively difficult for a business such as this one to at least increase their profits going forward with the stage 6 of load shedding. Dudu.
No doubt. Ahmed Kajee, thank you for that update.